Google Play.
All right, welcome back, everybody. Now, I will say this. I censor CNN in my house. If my son turns it on, you're not allowed to watch it. I censor it. But apparently China censors them too. Watch.
Are we back on the air after talking about Chinese censorship? And give us some insight on sort of how that works.
We're back on the air. You know, in the bottom left-hand corner of my eyesight, there's a monitor. Oh, I was just going to say we're back on the air, but apparently we're not.
So that's the feed going to China. Now, that's Michelson over at CNN. I know him well. He was an anchor in L.A. Funny. CNN getting shut down in China. I'd shut them down, too, though. Can you really blame me? I thought it was the Chinese news network anyway. Steve Shields, Army rolls. See you tomorrow.
Your TV sounds funny in the evening. You're watching live from Studio 6B on Real America's Voice.
All right, it is live from Studio 6B, Real America's Voice, 8 p.m. on the East Coast. Glad you're in, everybody, on a Tuesday night, March 17th. Happy St. Patrick's Day. The Slickster is in full St. Patrick's Day mode with the lime green.
Yes.
But still looking good. Mr. Slick Rick, how are you?
I'm doing good, Big D.
Were you in that all day?
Man, no. I had the most uneventful St. Patrick's Day of my life. I worked from home all day. I must be getting old. I don't even get out anymore. Okay. No drinks, no partying.
No pot of gold?
It's a Tuesday. Who wants to go out on a Tuesday? You know, that's like...
Everybody. People are partying.
Oh, I'm sure. I'm sure. I'm just an old dude, man.
All right. Well, you look good. I think I'd look good in that, too. But you probably pull it off better. So.
Yeah, all right.
Slick will have some sports, of course, coming up, sponsored by our friend Mike Lindell. Rick Delgado's here. He's going to do main headlines. Mr. Delgado, 0% Irish on your shirt. How are you?
I am
amongst many things.
Amongst 0% of many things.
Yes.
Irish
many
one of them.
Yes. I am very well. I am enjoying my my St. Patrick's Day, and thank you to Erin's mom for the delicious soda bread.
Oh yeah.
Oh wow.
Iris. Excuse me, soda bread.
Really?
She brought in.
What?
Are you kidding me?
What are we doing here?
What is this?
It's St. Patrick's Day. You're allowed to burp once in a while. That means you're
Not
Sure,
on
there's
TV,
enough
you
hiccups.
Gross.
What are you talking about?
So thank you, Erin's mom.
I'm
'cause she's
revoking your
probably
bread
watching.
privileges.
What'd you say?
I'm revoking your bread privileges.
Well, no more for you.
Good luck.
There's probably none left.
I'm going to run back and get my third piece.
Harry already ate half the loaf.
The only thing missing was the Kerry's Irish butter, the Kerrygold, which I have a huge tub. I would have brought it.
Well, I brought regular butter. Is that not good enough for you?
I mean, see, Aaron, what you got into here, and we just can't stop complaining.
He
This
wants
is why
icing
I
on
don't
it,
do
too.
anything nice for you
Exactly.
people.
Vinnie Mac's in West Palm Beach. Vinnie Mac, how are you?
The Kerrygold butter.
Yeah, I'm doing quite well. And you know me, on St. Patty's Day, I'm drinking all day long down here. You know, it's
You're
been
not
crazy.
doing anything. What are you
It's
talking
been
about?
a lot of people down here pretending to
Drinking
be
Metamucil.
Irish but speaking Spanish is what I'm seeing. So I'm not quite sure what is happening. But they had a crazy event down here on Clematis, which is like the big party street. Bands, Irish trinkets for sale, of course, drinking to oblivion. You know, it was a real celebration, and a lot of people lying in the street throwing up. Well, it was wonderful, though. I had a really good day. Thank you.
And you went to this event?
I walked by it as I went on my little stroll to get coffee. So I'm going to get a coffee, and people are like, you want to get us the Happy St. Patrick's Day? I'm like, all right, let's go.
Good.
I love the Irish, but
You didn't get yourself a trinket?
I did. I did not get myself a trinket, but everybody, all the Latinos and everything down here, they got the St. Patty's Day hats on. Everybody's celebrating St. Patrick's Day. I bet you if you asked anybody, what does St. Patrick stand for, would they even know? You know, is there an answer to that one?
Oh, okay. Very good question, Vin. Why don't you go
Thank you.
Go back out there tonight after the show, ask them. I'm sure they'll still be there, and you can report back on Thursday. So,
well, he was.
I'll take the camera with me.
I believe he was arrested and brought back to Ireland, St. Patrick, as a slave.
Ah,
yes.
Oh, well, yeah.
Well, who knows if that's true? Oh, God, I mean, come on.
That's according to history.
Okay.
I thought it was National Liver Donation Day. No.
That came later.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, 4 minutes past the hour, live from Studio 6B. Lots to get to, but I think we have to start with the news of the day, which is Joe Kent. And I'll just start with the letter that he decided to put out this morning. And it says the following. President Trump, he addresses it to his commander-in-chief. After much reflection, I've decided to resign my position as Director of National Counterterrorism Center effective today. I cannot in good conscience support the ongoing war in Iran. Iran posed no imminent threat to our nation. And it is clear that we started this war due to pressure from Israel and its powerful American lobby. I support the values and the foreign policies that you campaigned on in 2016, 2020, 2024, which you enacted in your first term. Until June of 2025, you understood that the wars in the Middle East were a trap that robbed America of the precious lives of our patriots and depleted the wealth and prosperity of our nation. In your first administration, you understood better than any modern president how to decisively apply military power without getting us drawn into never-ending wars. You demonstrated this by killing Soleimani and defending ISIS and defeating ISIS. Early in this administration, high-ranking Israeli officials and influential members of the American media deployed a misinformation campaign that wholly undermined your America First platform and sowed pro-war sentiments to encourage a war with Iran. This echo chamber was used to deceive you into believing that Iran posed an imminent threat to the United States and that should you strike now, there was a clear path to a swift victory. This was a lie and is the same tactic the Israelis used to draw us into the disastrous Iraq war that cost our nation the lives of thousands of our best men and women. We cannot make the same mistake again. As a veteran who deployed to combat 11 times and as a Gold Star husband who lost my beloved wife Shannon in a war manufactured by Israel, I cannot support sending the next generation off to fight and die in a war that serves no benefit to the American people nor justifies the cost of American lives. I pray that you will reflect upon what we are doing in Iran and who we are doing it for. The time for bold action is now. You can reverse course and chart a new path for our nation, or you can allow us to slip further toward decline and chaos. You hold the cards. It was an honor to serve in your administration and to serve our great nation. Joseph Kent, Director, National Counterterrorism Center. So that dropped this morning on social media. And before I start railing on my feelings on this, Vin, I'll come to you first. I don't know how much time you've had today to spend looking at this. And obviously, Joe Kent, his military service to the country, what he's personally gone through, as he stated in there with his wife, is beyond reproach. We say that up front, obviously.
100%.
Having said that, what do you think of what he did here to his commander-in-chief by stabbing him in the back this morning?
Yeah, I'm well aware of this story. Obviously heard about it, read about it, saw it, all these kinds of stuff. And frankly, I was disgusted when I heard it. I don't care who it's from. First, the left hated this guy a couple of years ago, hated him. Now they love him because he stepped out and talked against Trump. We are in a war. A veteran of his magnitude, someone in his position should know better than really anybody else other than the president that we're in war, and you don't do things like this that undercut the safety of our military, which is what he just did. By speaking out the way he did, undercuts, one, the effort, our military, everything else you can imagine. So I was disgusted by it. I think he's an absolute moron for doing it. He showed his true colors by presenting something in the middle of a war that should if he felt this way, he could have resigned, I guess, just without saying something, or he could have waited and then come out and said something like most normal people would. You don't come out in the middle of a conflict when lives are at stake and say this and defy your president, even if you disagree with him. And let's just be frank about this. There are people who have made the case that Israel prodded our president to do this. I don't think anybody has made a case that says Iran wasn't a huge problem here. Iran was a significant threat, not only to our country, to our neighbors, to our friends, to countries all in the region. For terrorists, they were funding them. Iran was a bad actor and needed to be eliminated. Every president for the last 5-6 presidents has wanted to eliminate them. Trump has gone and done that. Israel had a part in it, but I don't think anybody strong-arms Donald Trump. He did it based on the intelligence he saw. Last thing I'll say is Dan Bongino was on today talking about it, and he was like, hey, I've seen stuff that shows pretty clearly these guys are an imminent threat. So this guy clearly is just talking out of school.
I mean, well said. I agree with almost all of that, specifically the last part.
Yep.
The idea that Trump somehow is a dupe, that he can be duped or tricked or manipulated like he's some naive puppet just sitting there on strings, implies a level of gullibility or weakness that I don't think anyone arguing honestly could attribute to him. Where have we ever seen that in the makeup of the man?
Right. Yeah, and especially with a guy like Joe Kent, again, not coming out against his military service, as you said, it goes beyond reproach. Of course. But we're past that. We're into his political life, and he's already jumped the shark a few times when it comes to politics, going from Democrat to Independent to Republican, whatever it seems to fit his agenda. And his agenda, he's an anti-war guy. It's as simple as that. He's very anti-war. He doesn't want it. But meanwhile, last year in front of the Senate, he testified Iran was a threat. So what do we believe? Do we believe him today? Do we believe last year when he was under oath? Do we believe what he said when he was being what do you call it, vetted for this job and testifying about it, saying that he understood the threats? I don't know. And then we find out that last year he was kind of cut out of a lot of these high-level meetings because they suspected him of leaking. Mm-hmm. There's that angle as well. So maybe Joe Kent has an axe to grind because you know what? He sees his agenda of being pro no war, and I get it. President Trump. That's one of the things he said he loved about President Trump early on when he first wanted to work for him was that he was against wars. He's fine. That's what he signed up for. But now he sees, hey, sometimes you got to get ugly with some of these people that want to kill you.
Nothing wrong with having someone like, right. I mean, Joe Kent's kind of a libertarian kind of guy, kind of like the anti...
he's a Rand Paul guy.
He's like the opposite of that guy with the mustache that we always rail against, like, what's his name, Bolton. Yeah. And it's fine to have guys like that around, but, I mean, this letter this morning is just outrageous at this time. And there's no evidence of any of this. He presents this letter, but where's the evidence of it if you're going to make these kind of accusations? I know people want to infer. People keep going back to, Trump saying, well, maybe I pressured Israel's hand here, or if we didn't do something, they were going to, and they just take that and they say, well, see, it's all because of that. He did. And again, that goes back to what I said. That goes back to the idea that Trump is just that he can be duped. I mean,
Well, from what I understand, he's a king and he's a dictator and he calls all the shots.
You can't argue both ways.
So which is it?
Yeah, which is it? Exactly. Which is it?
Trump was president for 4 years. Remember that, he had a good run there from 16 to 20. He's seen a lot. He's seen the intelligence that, goes back then and again now. This is not an inexperienced leader like we've had before, where we've had guys like Barack Obama who had no clue about any of this stuff until he sat in the seat. Trump's seen it. He knows what's going on there. I would trust his judgment, frankly, over just about any other president because he doesn't want a war. He doesn't want prolonged wars.
Definitely.
He doesn't want boots on the ground. Nope. This is not this guy. So, it's just typical, left-wing narrative, and then you got a rogue guy like this.
And again, Joe Kent in 2020 on X. I personally think we should have crushed their ballistic and nuke capabilities, but Trump has a plan. He has definitely earned the confidence of any clear-eyed observer. Well, hey, that Joe Kent today would argue, I guess, against you.
Right.
Or you would argue against this guy. I don't know which one it is.
Or that Joe Kent would say you're being influenced by Israel.
Crazy. All right, we're back.
That guy's a fool.
Totally.
I mean,
Chat, live
that's
in the
treasonous.
He got
Literally
bad advice
treasonous.
from somebody. That's what I feel. Somebody advised him bad. No threat. Iran's no imminent threat to the United States. Really?
Yeah.
You lost me right there.
I like my threats not to be imminent, like on the doorstep, moron.
right. With something coming over. Oh, we got something right over the Atlantic now. It's about 1,000 miles out. Oh, that's imminent. Yeah, a little too late, pal.
I've been going at it on Facebook over this issue. I guess maybe when we come back, we're going to still talk about this, right, Dame? So we got time to put a few more digs in there. Good.
Yeah, we talk about it all night. I mean, it's been the news of the day. It's just been, and to go back and do a little research on this guy and to see his past tweets. Like,
Yeah.
what are you talking about, dude?
Well, he disavows those. He was being, that's a different Joe Kent. It wasn't him.
Farmer Brook, yo, what's
chum
up?
for the
You
left.
see your block, Farmer Brook? We got your block thing in there. I'll figure on Apple anyways.
Farmer Brook, what's
I
going
think
on?
the Android version comes back out tomorrow with the block capability. If
Is Farmer Brook
any trolls in the show up,
ready for Thursday?
Let's hope so.
Because maybe there could be a question about Joe Kent. We're going to throw at him.
If you're on Apple, if you long press or you hit the little 3 dots next to the reply button, you can block anybody who's trolling. If you choose to, it's up to you.
Damon's blocking everyone.
I've already blocked everybody, so I don't see anything in the chat. It's blank now. Only Delgado I blocked.
Hey.
Oh,
Poor
my
Delgado.
goodness. That hurt.
Here we go. Here we go in the chat. See Damon Delgado.
Meanwhile, Damon comments on my stuff and I don't see it.
Yeah.
I think it's overwhelming based on the chat I'm looking at here on Facebook, where people are just thinking this guy is an absolute stooge.
Total stooge.
An absolute stooge.
All right.
Well, I think he's one of those anti-war guys who just like, you know what?
He just never should have been in this position.
Right.
It's just
based on his beliefs.
Right.
And if he was,
but
if
again,
he was
what is
truly,
his beliefs? His
right.
beliefs 2020, 2022, 2024
and not only
were
that,
not this.
But I mean, if who knows what the guy believes?
Okay.
Chat live in the chat. Howdy to the Rumblers. Rumble.
Up 17 past the hour, live from Studio 6B. On a Tuesday night, happy St. Patrick's Day, everybody. Hope you had a nice, safe day. Slick's going to do some sports. We're going to delay it here just for a second so we can keep railing on this moron. Well, you know,
That's worthwhile.
it's tough. Listen, like I said, guy's service to the country is beyond reproach.
Right.
He said he had terrible, tragic loss of his wife because of it as well. So they gave everything for this country.
Right.
That goes beyond saying. But again, I think that what he did this morning was a disgrace, an absolute disgrace to a president he stabbed in the back and presented something that is as damaging and sick as anything that's been put pen to paper from someone in that position, in my opinion, and offered no evidence of any of it, just put it out there. And quite frankly, makes the president look like he's some kind of mark or some kind of dupe or some kind of stooge that can't stand on his own 2 feet and can be manipulated from world leaders. And quite frankly, would put this country in quite a bit of peril and danger if that was the case. And he's none of that. And he's not shown to be any of that in anything. In the 10 years that he's been on the political scene, soon to be 8 of them as president of the United States. That he's some mark, that he's some weak leader to be taken advantage of and to be sucked into some place that he doesn't really want to be, or he's not wide-eyed and open-eyed and clear about what he's doing. That was the past 4 years. That was not this year and a half and 2016 through 2020. The guy who put the Abraham Accords together, the guy who dealt with this region of the world better than anybody else. The idea that you can honestly sit there wide-eyed as the director of counterintelligence and say that Iran didn't pose any imminent threat alone is disqualifying. What are you talking about?
Yeah,
imminent means what? You wait. It's got to be on your front doorstep to be considered imminent. What is that, Vin?
Yes, they have to be fully locked and loaded with nuclear weapons that are capable of reaching the shore before you can consider them an imminent threat.
They've taken thousands of American soldiers' lives all over the country. They're the biggest sponsor of terrorism worldwide. What do you mean they're not an imminent threat?
Here's the battle I got into today on Facebook over this issue. And the battle was all these same, typical left-wing stuff. Well, they really weren't a threat. Well, it really wasn't this. And my only response to it is, well, would you rather be blown up and then realize that we should have gone after these guys? Or would you rather be alive and take them out when you know they want to kill you? When you know they want to blow us up. They've already said as much. They want to drop a nuke on Israel. They want to drop a nuke on us. We're the big Satan and they're the little Satan. And so when is when? Like all of these people out there, it's like, what do you prefer? You want to be blown up or do you want to survive? And that's what Trump's basically doing is I'm not going to wait for something to happen. Look at what happened October 7th. Maybe that could have been averted if there was another president in office. And what Trump did, by the way, was brilliant. He took the handcuffs off Netanyahu and said, go, destroy him. Do what you got to do. Go in there. And they did. They did a big, big job. This is what you're supposed to do so it doesn't happen again. It's like you hear these people talk about all this stuff and then something really bad happens. It's like letting all the immigrants in and then, people are getting killed. It's like, oh, maybe we shouldn't have done that. Oh, really? Why don't you think about that before you let all these bad people in? It's the same kind of scenario. Like, why wait till there's a problem when you know a problem is going to occur? Trump just saved our asses, bottom line. And I firmly believe that.
Well, it's not only, I don't know if he's saving our asses right now, but it's for the future, right? Sure, maybe they couldn't park a nuke anywhere near us tomorrow. But why let them work on it so they could do it later?
I mean, if you listen,
it's about the future.
I understand what you're saying when you say that, and I understand and I agree to some degree. But if you listen to Steve Witkoff, who I have not been a huge fan of, quite frankly, at all. But to be fair, if you listen to Steve Witkoff's interview with Mark Levin, on the real inside of the sit down and what led them to go to Trump and said, these guys are. There are some things in there that I didn't know, as far as the fact that they openly admitted that they were going to have 12 nuclear bombs in a very short amount of time. They openly said that to him. And when they said, well, that they just openly said, we're not stopping. And everybody knows they wanted to put one on the end of an ICBM.
Right, and they were getting assistance for regenerating their nuclear capabilities from some bad actors like China and Russia. So that's why they were able to ramp up so quickly, because they were getting help.
And again, I just keep going back to the fact that people in one breath, when it comes to anything else with Trump, say, how dare you question him? How dare you say he's not doing everything perfectly? How dare you not be MAGA? How dare you this? And then when it comes to the most important thing, maybe the thing he does the most, does the best, which is his deal making, his vision, his seeing these things clearly, people say he's a stooge and he's a mark. And he's been taken advantage of. And he's, I mean, what are we talking about here? Here's Joe Kent in 2024. Jared Kushner had tweeted, September 27th is the most important day in the Middle East since the Abraham Accords. I've spent countless hours studying Hezbollah, and there is not an expert on earth who thought that what Israel has done to decapitate and degrade them, blah, 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 blah. Joe Kent says this, important. Iran's goal in orchestrating October 7th was to break up the Abraham Accords because the historic alliance isolated Iran's terror regime. Trump used a balance of diplomacy, economic pressure, and targeted strikes to contain Iran. The embodiment of peace through strength. Israel's dismantling of Hezbollah would have been much more challenging, if not impossible, had Trump not taken out Iran's terror mastermind Soleimani. So how do you square that guy with the letter we got this morning?
It sounds like somebody who was frozen out of meetings like they said he was a few months back. He got pushed out because they couldn't trust him.
Yep.
Maybe that's it. I don't know for sure, but that's what the reporting says.
Yeah. Clearly sour grapes. Someone who's been clearly dissed and had an axe to grind. And we've seen this before by particularly left-wing, actors who get dissed and then say stupid stuff. I just think this is borderline treason because it's a war. This isn't like some small little thing. We're at war, and to come out and do that, I just don't have enough strong words to say how bad I think that is. I don't hold the president, by the way. It didn't change my thinking whatsoever, and it shouldn't change anyone else's thinking. This guy's a stooge, except the left's going to use this to fire their base up, as usual.
Here's, I won't have time to play the whole thing, but here's a little bit of President Trump today when asked about this.
Oh, I have it. Oh, yeah.
Your director of national counterterrorism, Joe Kent, he just resigned today. He said he can't support your conflict with Iran. What's your reaction to that? And did you?
Well, I read his statement. I always thought he was a nice guy, but I always thought he was weak on security, very weak on security. I didn't know him well, but I thought he seemed like a pretty nice guy. But when I read his statement, I realized that it's a good thing that he's out, because he said that Iran was not a threat. Iran was a threat. Every country realized what a threat Iran was. The question is whether or not they wanted to do something about it. And many people, many of the greatest military scholars are saying for years that president should have taken out Iran because they wanted a nuclear weapon. They were, if we didn't do the attack, or if I'll go a step further, if I didn't terminate the Iran nuclear deal given to us, one of the worst deals ever made by Barack Hussein Obama. Remember when they sent Boeing 757s over there, loaded with cash, hundreds of millions of dollars? You would have been very happy. This was a wonderful. They sent hundreds of millions. People forget that. Does anybody remember? Right? You remember. Hundreds of millions of dollars in a Boeing 757. I think they had two of them loaded. They took the seats out and they put cash. And it was so much that there wasn't a bank in Virginia, Maryland, or D.C. that had any money left. They stripped them of all their money, put it into place, sent it to Iran almost as ransom. That's not.
All right, let's hold it there. We'll finish that when we get back. All right, we'll do some sports, then we'll finish President Trump today on this. And then we got one more thing I want to get to on this Joe Kent story. And then we'll get to some other news live from Studio 6B on a Tuesday.
That Howard game got very interesting. They were way up, and then all of a sudden they cut that thing to like 5. Whew. It was close, and then boom, and then. Whew. Aaron, do you know where the remote for the TV is?
Hey, Slick, when's the final, the baseball game?
Right now.
U.S. Venezuela.
It's in the bottom of the first
right now?
Yep. It's on right now. It's right down the block from you, Vin. It's in Miami.
I know.
You can get in the car and go visit.
I have to say, maybe we'll talk about this a little in sports, but I do have a soft spot for Venezuela, considering everything that country's been through.
Yeah.
And, coming out with I want the U.S. to win. So let's just put that out on there. So I want the U.S. to win. I'm happy for Venezuela. It feels like a U.S. Olympic hockey moment for them, 1980. Yeah. Because, we're a powerhouse. We're the creator and the biggest, name in baseball, and this little country, is. So I'm happy for them. I don't want them to win. I'd like it to be a close game, though. But I'm happy for how far they got.
Yeah, I mean, it's amazing. I would have liked to seen Italy. I was actually rooting for them. My friend was actually.
Me too.
My friend was actually traveling with them. He was the beat writer for them for the whole. He was covering them, and disappointment there. But yeah, Venezuela is a very interesting matchup to say the least. Yeah, thank you, Aaron.
Italy was interesting. They had a good run, but they showed their kind of inexperience last night because they had a good run, but they didn't match up. They just didn't match up. They played a close game, but they were good, but not. It wasn't like they screwed up. They just weren't good enough. I think that's how I looked at the game last night. I watched the whole thing.
Short. Yeah.
They can't. What do you talk about as a strike? Hold on a second. Forget about it.
Aaron Judge is up right now. Just struck out. He's awful.
Oh. Yeah, that's good. He's get on that, cowboy. Yeah.
I'll let you be the judge.
Slick would trade the entire Dallas Cowboys team for Aaron Judge to be a Cowboy.
Oh, yeah.
To be a Cowboy?
Easy.
Yeah.
Easy.
No, maybe to be a Cincinnati Red. Forget it. They don't have the budget. They get the popcorn machine fired up for the season. That team.
All right, 30 minutes past the hour, live from Studio 6B on a Tuesday night. Glad you're in. Vinnie Max in the West Palm Beach studio. He's got some news coming up. Rick Delgado's got headlines. Right now, let's get to some sports. Sports is brought to you by Mike Lindell. LFS6B is the promo code to use. Slickster, what's going on?
So much going on tonight, Big D. Big sports night, World Baseball Classic Championship final game at the Lone Depot Park in Miami, Florida. And Aaron Judge just struck out in the top of the first inning to resign the side there. Eduardo Rodriguez going for Venezuela, and Nolan McLean is going for the USA team. Like I said, game just underway, mid-first, no score there. This is for all the marbles, Big D. And then we got a good actually, the first four in. We got the first game up tonight in the Midwest region. Howard, University of Howard, over UMBC right now with 6 to go in the second, 74-67. Osi Okoji with 21 points for Howard. Isn't Howard Kamala's alma mater? Yeah, so interesting game there. We will track that. Obviously, first four. We also have the West coming up tonight, Big D. Texas taking on NC State at 9:15. So we'll check that out as well. And, well, it was pretty cool today to see the USA team coming in with their jerseys for the baseball game. Team USA wears game-worn Olympic hockey sweaters before WBC championship game. Dylan Gwynn of Breitbart. Team USA isn't leaving anything to chance when it comes to supplying winning mojo before Tuesday night's World Baseball Classic game. And the men wearing the red, white, and blue on the field tonight in Miami when they take on Venezuela for World Baseball bragging rights showed up to the stadium rocking. Here we go. We can see it there. The same red, white, and blue hockey jerseys that the U.S. men's hockey team wore when they defeated Canada for Olympic gold last month. Not only that, but also Paralympics, right? Defeated over the weekend. They did it. So it's been maybe a clean sweep here between the girls, the two hockey clubs, and I think the female as well. And now we got to, in the Paralympics. And then now we got to take the baseball, Rick. Big game tonight. So we'll see about that.
I don't know about the starting pitcher, though.
You don't know about the starting pitcher? You got a little apprehension there, huh?
Yeah, he's the guy who lost to Italy.
Oh, no. Yeah. And
he plays for the Mets. Yeesh.
Oh, even worse. And Trump is teasing. Trump, of course, Trump gets in the mix as well. He's teasing Venezuela as the 51st state after the team advances to the World Classic final over Italy. Ryan Gaitos of Fox News. President Donald Trump weighed in on when Venezuela topped Italy in their World Baseball Championship yesterday. Venezuela was down a run in the seventh when they rallied and put 3 runs on the board and closed out the game with a 4-2 win. And Trump, of course, got to go right to the tweeting, to X, I should say. Venezuela defeated Italy tonight 4-2 in the WBC baseball semifinal. They are looking really great. Good things are happening to Venezuela lately. I wonder what this magic is all about. Statehood, hashtag 51, anyone? He wrote in his post on Truth Social. You can see it there. So good stuff for the president and good stuff for the U.S. Come on, Big D. We're going to get this game tonight. What do you think? What you feeling?
I hope so.
Yeah?
I don't know. Should be a good one.
It's going to be a classic, no question. That's what it is, World Baseball Classic. And that's a wrap in sports, Big D. Back to you.
All right, Slick, very good. Sports brought to you by Mike Lindell. If you want to shop at MyPillow, use our code at checkout, LFS6B. All right, let's finish Trump's talk in the Oval today about Kent, and then I got one more thing I want to get to on this. Then we'll get to some headlines. We'll get to Vinnie Mac, and we'll move on. Here's the rest of President Trump on this today.
Almost as ransom. That's not going to happen with Trump. And nobody ever did anything about it. Nobody ever said anything. Can you imagine if I did that? So they've been a threat for a long time, but they've really been a threat. If I didn't terminate Obama's horrible deal that he made, the Iran nuclear deal, you would have had a nuclear war 4 years ago. You would have had nuclear holocaust, and you would have had it again if we didn't bomb the site. So when somebody is working with us that says they didn't think Iran was a threat, we don't want those people because, and there are some people, I guess I would say that, but they're not smart people or they're not savvy people. Iran was a tremendous threat. And virtually every NATO nation, and this is the thing, if they told me it wasn't a threat, and therefore they don't want to help, but when they say it was a threat, and it was a major threat, every one of them, I think every one of them, I don't know of one that said they're not a threat, but when they say it was a threat, but we're not going to help, I think they're very foolish. You know, it's interesting. It's interesting because I could say this, that what's happening in Ukraine, we're probably in there for $400 billion. We don't spend any money anymore. They buy it from us and they pay full price. But Biden gave them between $350 and $400 billion of equipment and cash. Someday they'll have to find out about the cash. And you could say that wasn't a threat. You know, we're helping them. So we helped them, and they didn't help us. And I think that's a very bad thing for NATO.
All right, so there's a little bit of the president today. One final thing. This is Noah Rothman today on Joe Kent. He says, at first blush, the resignation of America's director of the National Counterterrorism Center in wartime, indeed in protest against a war with the world's foremost exporter of Islamic terror, is an unnerving development. Fortunately, the former director, Joe Kent, authored an open letter explaining the thinking that led him to abandon his post. A cursory survey of his deliberative process should reassure trepidatious Americans that they're better off without him. Quote, Iran posed no imminent threat to our nation, end quote, Kent wrote at the outset of his letter. If that's his biggest problem with this war, then it calls into question not America's actions, but the author's judgment. At no point since 1979 has the Islamic Republic of Iran not represented an imminent threat to the lives of U.S. civilians and service personnel, as well as America's national interests across the globe. The Iranian threat is measured in degrees, not in its presence or absence. The amount of time and resources America devotes around the clock to containing the Islamic Republic's bloody ambitions has been prodigious. If the National Counterterrorism Center didn't know that or simply discounted it, then Kent was in the wrong job. But that's not Kent's foremost objection to this war. Rather, his frustrations seem to be linked almost exclusively to Israel and the pernicious influence he believes it exercises over American political actors, including President Trump. Quote, he says, early in this administration, high-ranking Israeli officials and influential members of the American media deployed a misinformation campaign that wholly undermined your America First platform. Where exactly, he says, are these pro-war sentiments that Kent is describing? Republicans are behind the U.S.-Israeli campaign in the Persian Gulf, but much of the rest of the country remains skeptical. Indeed, the president acted on his repeated campaign trail insistence that Iran will not develop a nuclear weapon or a ballistic missile shield around a nuclear bomb program, despite the absence of public consensus in favor of those operations. What is Kent talking about? Unfortunately, the former director's thinking doesn't get any clearer from there. He says, quote, the echo chamber was used to deceive you, talking to President Trump, that you should strike now. There was a clear path to a swift victory. Maybe Kent was not paying attention at the outset of this war when Trump said that combat operations would take at least 4 to 5 weeks but could go far longer if warranted. This is a lie, Kent continued. And it's the same tactic the Israelis used to draw us into the disastrous Iraq war that cost our nation the lives of thousands of our best men and women. Israel did not push the Bush administration into the Iraq war. To say as much ignores the constant maintenance of the post-1991 status quo in Iraq, which put Americans in uniform in harm's way every day. To say nothing of Israel's thoroughly documented skepticism of the invasion of Iraq. Quote, in the weeks preceding Sharon's meeting with Bush on February 7, 2022, a procession of Israeli officials conveyed the message to the U.S. administration that Iran represented a greater threat. Read the Knesset summary of the Washington Post reporting around a meeting between George Bush and Israeli Prime Minister Ariel Sharon at the time. Indeed, Kent appears to even blame his wife's tragic death in combat against the Islamic State militia on Israel when he alleges that the Syrian civil war, or at least America's intervention in it, was, quote, manufactured by Israel. Does he mean that Syrian instability was an Israeli project? If so, Jerusalem is also to blame for the Arab Spring revolts that ignited many conflicts in the region and ousted figures like the relatively Israeli-friendly Egyptian leader Hosni Mubarak in favor of a figure in league with the Muslim Brotherhood. A bit of a blooper there. Or maybe Kent resents America's introduction of soldiers into eastern Syria to protect the area's oil infrastructure. If so, his grievance is with Barack Obama, who spent 2 years resisting the necessity of intervention inside Syria, even as he reluctantly committed U.S. troops and air assets to the campaign against ISIS in Iraq in 2014. None of this is especially persuasive. That is, unless you don't need any persuading to assume the worst of Israel and its American puppets. In fact, the letter is so clearly influenced by addled thinking informed by anti-Israeli biases that it's reasonable to conclude that Americans are better off without Joe Kent as the nation's anti-terrorism czar.
Yeah. Well said.
Yeah,
very well. Well said.
And
Even
just
Trump
to
said
add
that.
a little more context for Joe Kent, according to Sarah Fields, she's a investigative journalist and Army veteran. She says here, Joe Kent was a registered Democrat until 2021. He was affiliated with the Libertarian Party from 2012 to 2019, then switched to the Democratic Party in 2019. He remained a Democrat through 2020, including voting for Bernie Sanders. And in 2024, September 25th, he wrote on X, Iran has been after Trump since January of 2020 after they ordered the targeted killing of terrorist Soleimani. This isn't a new threat. The Secret Service is consistently failing to secure Trump. The Secret Service consistently failing to secure Trump is new. And then, of course, she follows it with his latest X post, which is a complete 180 when you start doing some background searching on this guy and his new wife who works for Gray Zone. What's Gray Zone? Do a little search there, Paul. Well, Paul probably knows all about Gray Zone. The anti-interventionist, sympathetic coverage for authoritarian regimes, I couldn't get that out, has been accused of downplaying and defending the persecution of the Uyghurs in China and, among other things, very pro-Russia. Into propaganda and disinformation, and that's where his wife works.
Bingo.
His new wife.
Yeah. He's going to advance our career for her.
You know, Rich Lowry makes an interesting point tonight as well, and let's hope it doesn't come to this because this would mean the Democrats obviously win the House in the midterms. But he says if Joe Kent and other America First, quote-unquote, figures today supporting him take this critique of Trump seriously as a president who has allegedly subjugated his nation to a foreign power, then you would think they'll support his impeachment and removal from office for one of the most dastardly acts ever committed by a U.S. president.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah. I mean, it all points to those types of things.
Right.
Yep. That's right.
Exactly. All right, live from Studio 6B Tuesday night. More to do. We're back right after this.
I was just looking at the Venezuela manager, and he's probably saying to himself as he's sitting there, man, if I win a game, I'll never have to buy a drink or a meal in Venezuela again as long as I live. But you're right.
Legendary status, man.
I said to Rick, you nailed it. That is their 1980 Olympic gold. That Russia upset would be what it is to them if they could win it tonight. But let's hope the USA pulls it out. And USA has big bats. Yeah. I think they'll get it going.
Yeah, I mean, Dominican had a great team.
Yeah.
Great team, by the way.
Great team.
What a powerhouse. That game was just not over till it actually ended, right? As Yogi would say, it ain't over till it's over, man. Right. I was just, nervous the whole way through. And Venezuela, I mean, did you see the arms that they were throwing out at Italy? I mean, every reliever was throwing 98 with change-ups and sinkers all around it as well. I mean, there's some talent.
It seems like
those balls had more movement than the 60s.
If they're not throwing 97, 98, then they're not on a roster. Crazy.
Yeah, the Phil Necro screwball days are over.
Oh, man, yeah. Guys like Frank Viola, remember some of those pitchers? Sure. They pitched around the corners.
Of course.
Greg Maddux pitched, they had to be creative and fake guys out. They didn't have the power. Now you're just throwing 100, 101.
See, you have the juice, so you're not on the roster, like Rick said. Yep.
Yeah, well, maybe.
True.
Hey, who appointed this guy, Kent, by the way? I mean, did Trump appoint him? And, who recommended he get appointed?
Trump did.
Who recommended him?
I'd like to find out who recommended him.
Horrible. Especially with the wife's background. That's really, man, that was a good catch, Rick. That's very interesting. No surprise.
Congressional run out of the state of Washington.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
A little sour grapes, too, mixed in, huh?
The whole thing just stinks. I mean, it just smells. It's not something you could take too seriously. It's not a typical whistleblower kind of thing,
Yeah. Yeah, well, we're gonna get to, obviously we'll move on here.
According to Jackie Heinrich, Kent was a known leaker, barred from POTUS intelligence briefings months ago and excluded from all Iran-related discussions.
Do you think there's any chance, I'm going to put my Delgado's tinfoil hat on here for a second. Think there's any chance that Kent is the one who leaked to Tucker?
Could be, because he seems to be, he's going back on Tucker.
All right, 13 to the hour, live from Studio 6B. Slick's going to do some sports. Delgado's got main headlines coming up. But let me start here with some other news. We'll move on from the Joe Kent situation to Vinnie Mac. Vinnie Mac's in West Palm Beach. Vinnie Mac, what else is on your news radar tonight?
Yeah, the shutdown, this whole DHS thing, and it hits home with the amount of travel I do. I'm in airports, walking around. I see the long lines. Of course, I'm, the few people that have stayed out of TSA, I always make it a point now to say thank you for continuing to work and trying to protect us, because it's it's a bit of a dangerous time now. We're cutting the head off the snake of the one major facilitator of terror in the world. Okay, this is the head of the snake that we're cutting off, and then the left has decided this is a good time not to fund DHS. Let's back up the car here for a minute and talk about what the left is really for. Because they're obviously not for our lives, our safety, and our health. If you look at their border policy, when they left the borders open, every Tom, Dick, and Harry came in, criminals came in, terrorists came in, and when people were killed, when women were raped, when businesses were robbed, or people were attacked, they had nothing to say. The media barely covered it, but they're okay with all that because they're letting all these people in, and they're okay with us having these casualties. The same thing with Hamas and Palestine. They're protesting against Israel while Hamas is slaughtering people, not just Israelis, their own people. Anyone that defied them or whatever, they're hiding in schools, blowing up their own people. They're killing people that defy them. The left doesn't care. And then you look at what's going on with Iran. We're at war with the leader of terrorism, period. All of these other factions don't exist without Iran supplying them with weapons, supplying them with money, supplying them with know-how, intelligence, and even maybe directives. None of that. So what does the left do? They're standing on some principle that, by the way, is unfounded, makes no sense, is only in place because ICE is doing their job, protecting us from the first faux pas they made, which was open borders that are hurting and killing Americans and making our society dangerous. So we have to put ICE out there to help arrest all these people, and the left decide we're going to shut down the government because we don't want ICE funded, but that's shutting down DHS too. And now we have all these terrorists in our country that they let in that we need to be protected from. Enough's enough. Enough is enough with the left. It's time. You have to come to the table. They simply do not care about our lives. And by the way, that goes for liberal and conservative lives. They don't care about anybody's lives. They obviously have absolutely zero thought on how this affects regular people who could be in the line of fire, could be in some random terrorist act, could be around, just like we've seen with the illegals here, just like we've seen with Hamas, who have taken people's lives left and right, and now we're seeing with terrorists, rogue terrorists in our country. They just don't care. And I wish more people on the left would simply get this. I got another Facebook fight today over this because I was talking about this whole thing with DHS and, bringing up the fact that I'm traveling a lot. I'm seeing this in real time, that we're losing safety in our airports, not just the hassle of big lines. And I come to the conclusion that they just don't care. These are the people you're voting into office, that they just don't care about your life or my life. So I guess my little rant here is all about it's time's up. Time's up. We have to open and fund DHS right now. And otherwise, they're putting our lives directly in danger. Mine, yours, everybody out there. We don't know where these terrorists in these sleeper cells are, that they let in, most likely, that they enabled to come here. We don't know where they are. But I know sure as hell they're somewhere, and some innocent people are going to get hurt because these idiots don't care about your life. So...
Well, they've shown that they don't care in many ways before this, Vin. But yeah, you're correct.
Well, they've shown it in many ways, but here's this like literal life and death stuff, like really black and white life and death stuff. Illegals coming across the border, and some are criminals and they're hurting people. Yeah, that's life and death, but that's we let those people in to do that. We know there are terrorists here. We let them in, and we're not funding the very people that are out there to go get them. This is so black and white right now. It's obscene. And you're right. They haven't cared about it. But I just think at this point, there's a big exclamation point on the whole subject. And that's what the media should be talking about. That's what Republicans should be talking about. And that's what voters should be listening to.
Yeah. All right. Very good. 8 minutes to the hour. Vinnie Mac will have some more news coming up in hour 2. Let's do a couple main headlines here. Rick Delgado's got them. What's going on, Delgado?
All right. Well, of course, the update coming out of the war for Iran, as the IDF says it eliminated Iran's top leadership in new strikes. And again, these are big names. I guess they're pulling off the playing board there, Damon. As the Israeli military said earlier today, it eliminated senior Iranian leadership figures, including Ali Larghani and Bajia commander Soleimani, in ongoing strikes against the regime. The IDF eliminated the leadership of the Iranian terror regime again. An Israeli military spokesperson said one of them, I forget which one, is responsible for the deaths of all the civilians, the 30,000 that were killed back in January. For years, Larghani was one of the regime's most veteran and senior figures, the spokesperson said, adding that he personally directed decades of terror, including against his own people. I guess they're talking about Larghani, leading to the violent suppression of any Iranian protest. So good news coming out. Some more bad guys are dead. Thank you. Senior Israeli officials said it may take a few weeks to finish destroying Iran's ballistic missile threat, as they are now, I guess that they've moved on to where they now have to try to hunt these things down, these roving missile launchers, which is going to be tougher to find. And they also said that's part of the reason why it's tough to find, because Iran doesn't want to spark any of these things up, because then all of a sudden they're going to be noticed and probably blown away. So we'll see what happens with that as the war continues to unfold. As well, Trump says former President praises Iran strikes, but all 4, believe it or not, have issued denials, Damon. I didn't understand that one. Here he is, cut number 3, President Trump talking about this and who that might be. I think it's fairly obvious who it is, but you take a listen and hear what he has to say. Cut number 3, here's President Trump.
And yet every president knew. I've spoken to a certain president, who I like, actually, a past president, former president. He said, I wish I did it. I wish I did. But they didn't do it. I'm doing it, yeah.
Which president?
I can't tell you that. I don't want to embarrass him. It would be very bad for his career, even though he's got no career left. Go ahead.
You mentioned.
How about the man?
So there
I was
he is.
listening to that live yesterday.
Yeah,
I saw that too, but some of the reporting has been that they've checked with every. I mean, who knows? They've checked with every president, and of course, everybody has said, "No,
They're not gonna admit it.
wasn't us.
Yes. It wasn't me.
If I had to guess, it's probably BJ.
I think so too. That's my
I think
first
so
thought.
as well. Though, believe it or not, Jessica
did not
Tarlov
do
had a
that.
very funny line about this. She said she knows who it was. It was 45 talking to 47.
Okay, that could be
Which
too.
was a funny line. I'm sure somebody wrote it for her.
Because he wouldn't say he's got no career.
But it was pretty funny.
Yeah, true.
That's a good one.
Yeah, finally, here is President Trump taking a swipe at the UK's Keir Starmer over, of course, the UK not stepping up and offering any assistance. Cut number 4. Check this out.
You see that man right there? You know who that is? Churchill. The late, great Winston Churchill. And Barack Hussein Obama did not want his bust in this office. Did you know that? And Barack Hussein Obama sent that bust back to England. They didn't want it. And when I came in, I was asked if I wanted it. I said, absolutely, I want it. And I put it right there, Winston Churchill. And, unfortunately, Keir is not Winston Churchill.
There he is, taking a swipe at Keir Starmer. He's definitely not Winston Churchill.
All right, live from Studio 6B, Hour 2. Coming back, we'll do some more news with Delgado, Sports with Slick. News with Vinnie Mac, Aaron and Fran holding it down as always. Harry on the highway in the house as well. Hour 2 coming back right after this. Yeah. Okay. All right, we have a tweet that's in the running for tweet of the night. Slickster, listen to this one. This was just sent to me. I've enjoyed your show for the last 6 years most of the time.
Oh, no.
Your first word is a bit much. I filled out my brackets with Georgia, Florida in the final.
All right.
Really? Okay.
When I submitted it, I was asked to sign up at ESPN. Not happening. One more reason not to watch.
Oh, God.
So they signed up. They filled out the bracket on the ESPN bracket.
Right.
And then had to sign up at ESPN to submit it to us.
He showed them.
And says now that's a reason not to watch.
Wow. Oh, come on,
The ESPN bracket that the entire world uses. You were surprised you had to sign up at ESPN.
I wonder if there was a game on ESPN that his team was playing, if he wouldn't watch ESPN. Probably not, right? I can't watch the game. It's on ESPN. It's a Disney product.
Sign up for that. That'd be crazy. Even though you said sign up on the ESPN app.
It's only a link
to do our to do our thing.
Yeah, you've been saying it all along.
We've only done it 6 years in a row there.
Right.
You've been very transparent about that. Trying to mislead anybody.
I guess he didn't play the last few years.
Dr. Deb says, LFSSB, I can't stand listening to you guys mispronounce words anymore.
Like what?
Okay, thank you, Dr. Deb.
I know I had a problem with the one word.
Oh, Ali Mukhtar of Egypt.
Shut up, Aaron.
Schedule or schedule?
She might be an
I don't
English
have
teacher.
a problem with those words.
Maybe she's a speech
Shut up,
therapist.
Aaron. How about that?
Mark Wright. Mark Wright says you guys are a disgrace. Used to like your show. Now you're all little Sean Hannity wannabes.
Oh, my goodness.
Could you imagine that? That's
Really?
nothing further from the truth
Come
than
on.
that.
If that were the case, we'd be selling every 10 minutes. We'd be doing ads.
Right, exactly.
Wow. That hurts, man. Why are they saying that?
They're rough crowd
like that.
tonight.
And we'd have tons
They
of
must
money.
have had too much whiskey this
We're
morning.
broke.
Kathy54 says, I've been watching you guys for years and have enjoyed your show until recently.
Oh, my God.
jeez.
What do
Today
you do
draws
now,
the
David?
line. No one wants this war. No one except neocons. You disparaged Joe Kent today, and it was uncalled for.
Disparaged
I know
Joe
you
Kent.
know he's a war hero. Send your boys if you think it's so great. I love that argument. When are you going?
Yeah. Meanwhile, we made that
That's not
very,
the argument.
very clear how we appreciated his
Exactly.
service. I mean, we
If your television sounds funny in the evening, you're watching live from Studio 6B.
All right, 9 o'clock on the East Coast, live from Studio 6B. Real America's Voice on a Tuesday, March 17th. Glad you're in, everybody. Slick's going to do some sports. Rick Delgado's going to do main headlines. Vinnie Mac's got some more news as well. We spent most of hour one talking about the Joe Kent situation, which there's a lot of strong feelings on both sides. So we're going to move on from that and do some other news as well. But the one thing I also want to bring attention to that I've noticed a lot today, and again, I don't know how this keeps happening supposedly inside the White House, but Dasha Burns, who is formerly of NBC, now is the White House, bureau chief. Oh, I mispronounced something. That girl's definitely not watching anymore. She's the White House bureau chief for Politico. She says tonight, new from inside Trump world, allies are warning the Iran strategy could backfire. Quote, now you've killed the guy, and the next guy is even more radical. You killed his dad and wife in an airstrike. Do you think he will be more or less reasonable? End quote. That's how a Trump ally describes the risk in Iran right now. Another warning, quote, boots on the ground in Iran is the third rail, end quote. So Dasha Burns tonight says that this is what she's getting from inside the White House, quotes like this. Now, first of all, that first quote sounds like it was maybe from 4 weeks ago. Maybe you could give it some, you've now killed the guy and the next guy's even more radical. No, the next guy's dead.
Yeah.
And the guy after that's dead. And the guy after that's dead.
And the other guy is
and
in
the
a
gay
hospital.
one-legged guy after that, he's dead.
Exactly.
They're all dead. What do you mean? What the hell is it? What is this quote? Now you've killed the guy, and the next guy is even more radical. You killed his dad and wife in an airstrike. Do you think he will be more or less reasonable? That's a quote from inside the White House tonight or even recently? That's how a Trump ally describes the risk in Iran right now. And then another warning, she says, boots on the ground in Iran is the third rail. Really? Thanks for telling us. That's deep. Like we didn't know that. So who inside, if you believe this is even remotely true, who inside the White House is giving quotes like this?
Chuck Schumer. Some left-wing crazy.
Well, she says new from inside Trump world. I wouldn't consider him as inside Trump world.
I know. Right. Kidding.
But who are the isolationists that are still in there that are talking to Dasha Burns like this? Makes you wonder. I've seen people speculate on this whole resignation from Joe Kent, make you wonder. Just another attempted op to undermine not only Trump, but underline clear momentum, clear decisive victory on its way in Iran. All of it seems like it's just meant to undermine the commander-in-chief.
Yeah, I mean, when you have
Here's another thing.
Go ahead, Vin. Well, I'm sorry.
Yeah, another thing about undermining the commander-in-chief that I've heard, these supposed people speaking out of school, is Trump says, I'm not taking boots on the ground off the table. And everybody freaks out. Well, why would the leader of the military and the commander-in-chief take anything off the table and letting our enemies know that? I mean, it's the typical Democratic play. They want to tell everybody what they're doing, and smart leaders don't do that. We don't want them to put boots on the ground, but you can't take it off the table and say, I'm never going to do that. You have to have them think you're going to do absolutely anything and everything to win this thing, no matter what it takes. You're all in. End of story. Because this is what they do. They just wait. They're patient. They'll sacrifice a lot of lives to try and stick this thing out. You got to let them know we're going to pull out all stops. Those are the other leaks I hear that are total BS.
Yeah. Delgado, what were you going to say?
I was going to say, and then you go to something like Al Jazeera, of all places, the publication that comes out of Qatar that is run by their government, so nothing gets past them without being kind of signed off on, and they're all for what's going on in Iran. They're impressed by the dismantling of everything that Iran has, and it was an incredible. I wish I could find it. I totally forgot about it, but it's a great read, and it's coming from an opinion writer in Al Jazeera of all places, kind of saluting the Trump administration and the U.S. for what we've been doing, along with Israel. So it kind of puts things into perspective when you have that kind of publication coming out saying, you know what, this is really looking great, and they're doing an incredible job of dismantling everything that has made Iran so dangerous to the region.
Yeah, that was in Al Jazeera. The opinion piece by Mohammed Salom says the U.S.-Israeli strategy against Iran is working. Here is why. Every aspect of Iran's ability to project regional power is being successfully degraded. I've actually linked this on our social media if you want to read this. I actually saw this earlier, Delgado. And by the way, don't underestimate the strike that took out these two clowns today.
Yeah.
As well.
Because from what I understand, one of them, I'm not sure which one, but it was they had a citizen tip. So they've got, you know what, the Israeli intelligence in there is really top notch when you talk about, not only did they build a drone factory in Iran, which they used last summer against them, but they're getting tips from the people inside of Iran of where their people are.
Trump has to get to a point where he takes out so many of these clowns that they can finally say, there's a credible way here that we can claim victory. Because we've collapsed the Iranian state. They have to be able to get to that point where they can make a case for that. And every one of these clowns that they take out, they're closer to doing that.
Yeah, it's going to be a Spider-Man meme. Not it. They're all going to point to each other. I'm not the leader. That guy is.
All right, 7 minutes past the hour. Let's do some more headline news. Rick Delgado's got it. What's going on?
All right, Damon. Well, the other big story that's breaking in Washington, of course, is the fight over the Save America Act, as the GOP has triggered a marathon Senate fight to expose the Democrats and their opposition to the Trump-backed voter ID bill.
We have a live shot of it right now, Aaron, if you want to put it up.
There we go.
Put it up in the middle so we can see who is... oh, look who's on the floor. Shifty Schiff.
Senate Republicans on earlier today successfully launched their floor takeover to put Senate Democrats on record against the Trump-backed voter ID legislation. It's a move to shift the spotlight from internal GOP divisions over the safeguarding of America's voter integrity, the Save America Act, onto Democrats who are ultimately withholding the needed votes to pass the bill. Not a single Democrat will support the Save Act. Harump, said Chuck Schumer, the Democrat loser out of New York. He also said that if Republicans try and burn time on this legislation here on the floor, we will oppose them for as long as it takes, or until he falls asleep and needs a nap. It's also accumulation of pressure campaign by the Senate Majority Leader by President Trump and conservatives in his conference, and a fervent online campaign to put the bill on the floor because that's where it needs to be. Here is cut number 5. Here's Representative Tom Emmer saying the House will not pass anything else until the Senate passes the Save America Act. Cut number 5. Check this out.
Well, actually, I'm all over the SAVE Act. Look at my state. President Trump has said this is an absolute priority of his. You take my state of Minnesota, where we don't have voter ID, Maria, and one person can vouch for up to 8 people at a time to vote in a precinct on Election Day. It's outrageous. It's rife with problems when it comes to making sure that people who are supposed to vote are the actual people casting the vote. And when it comes to the House, yes, I'm going to be involved because I'm the whip and I got to count the votes. And I can tell you right now, we've got a small group of members who have made it very clear that they're not voting for anything until the Senate gets the Save America Act passed into law.
Yeah, so there you have it from Representative Tom Emmer coming out of the wacko state of Minnesota. But, he seems to have a good head on his shoulders.
One person can represent 8 people? Are you kidding
in
me?
Minnesota, yes.
No wonder why nobody ever wins over there. That's red.
Rachel Bavard, who's the VP of programs over at CPI, the Conservative Partnership Institute, who I've been really following on a lot of this and the talking filibuster, and she's really explained it in a way that even I can understand it, so that tells you how good she is explaining it. She said this today on this because, of course, I've been so down on Thune and all of it, but she said the Senate moved to proceed to the House passed Save America Act. The Senate is now, quote, on the bill. Thune filled the amendment tree with the policy changes requested by the president, ban on child trans surgeries, protecting sports, etc. This blocks Democrats from being able to offer amendments. Now we debate. It's not technically a talking filibuster. This method requires cloture. But the fact that Thune didn't file cloture and end debate immediately makes this the most open and deliberative Senate floor in maybe a decade. Conservatives have asked the Senate GOP for a process. This is the start of that process. Hopefully, we will see them take it seriously. Quorum calls, amendment votes, maybe even some Democrat amendments, negotiations, and robust and prolonged debate. At some point, there will be a cloture vote for 60 votes, which I still assume will fail. That's fine, as long as the GOP is prepared to continue the process, return the bill, file cloture again, keep working, keep talking. The Senate makes time for what it prioritizes. So she's saying that Thune's going to have to, maybe they need multiple rounds here, and eventually we still have to press for him to do a talking filibuster and bring this to a vote of 50, to get 51, which he has not done so far. But she's at least encouraged a little bit by the process that he used to get this started today.
Right.
So we'll see.
All right. Well, while lobbying for the campaign, Senator Mike Lee, Rick Scott, and Ron Johnson are also partly successful in getting the bill to the floor, and it's still destined, according to some, they say it's still destined to fail, but they're going to keep pushing it anyway. But it's like Mike Lee was talking about yesterday. He doesn't know what he didn't know what a floor campaign was or a floor takeover was, but he'd be all for it. Well, now he's in it, and he's all for it.
You better figure it out.
And she points out, by the way, that a single failed cloture vote on the 60 votes, which obviously will happen, does not kill the bill. Even if it fails, the Senate remains on the bill. To get off the bill, the Senate either has to vote for the bill, vote it down, or proceed on to something else entirely. Sometimes the Senate takes multiple cloture votes to see where the votes are during ongoing negotiations. In 2019, McConnell passed a Middle East security bill 4 times before ultimately passing it. The biggest thing to take away from this is that it's impossible to completely predict what will happen. This is the majesty of the Senate in deliberation. Anything is possible. Senate Republicans could take down the tree and pivot to a talking filibuster on the substitute. Who knows? Buckle up and let's hope we enjoy the ride. So we'll see. I still doubt it, but we'll see where it goes. All right, 13 past the hour, live from Studio 6B. More news with Vinnie Mac, more sports with Slick coming up. Joe Kent has just scheduled his first 2 interviews for this week.
Let me guess.
Oh, God.
Tucker Carlson and Candace Owens. I kid you not.
Are you serious, Candace Owens?
Swear to God.
All right.
Wow.
Wow. I want to talk about this SAVE Act drama that you guys just showed when we get back. I have a thought on that we didn't cover.
Okay, let's keep the live shot up too, Aaron. If anybody's good, we'll take a little of it.
Right now, nobody good up.
Oh, it's still pencil neck, huh? Let's hear 5 seconds of this moron
and blow him up.
We're spending $1 billion a day with this war in Iran.
Oh, he's worried about spending now.
He's worried about spending in Iran?
If you listen closer,
what about Ukraine? Oh, that's right. That money goes into his pocket. F this guy.
He gets years of her retirement, worried that her 401k won't be enough to get her through.
Oh.
If she's even lucky enough to have a 401k or a father in the prime of
Ukraine, the 401k was just fine.
Somebody should just run up and give him a wedgie.
It's unbelievable what these guys argue when it doesn't fit their narrative.
Two-faced.
All of a sudden they're worried about spending. They're worried about
401ks.
401ks attack. Meanwhile, they want to raid every dollar they can find anywhere to support their.
Meanwhile, in his state of California, talk about hospice fraud. Could fund how many wars with all that money that they've stolen? Jesus, somebody! Oh my God!
Sending grandma out
somebody
to war.
just take his underwear and rip it right off of him and put it on his head. That would be
Come
awesome.
summertime, all this fraud stuff's coming out just before the midterms. A lot's going to come out just before the midterms, and I think a lot of this fraud stuff, it's going to be coming out in a big way. California, Minnesota, and other states.
Coming out like Khomeini's son?
Coming out like
he's got a leg up on things, that guy.
The ultimate hypocrisy in an entire nation. You know, they throw gays off buildings, they kill them, and here they are. The son is gay, and they also said the leader that was killed might have been Khomeini himself.
Talk about a rainbow coalition.
Yeah, oh my God, they found some Liza Minnelli albums in there when they blew it up. So I don't know what happened, but.
I love the parade.
But think about the irony. The irony of this whole thing is just incredible. Yeah. Raindrops and roses and whiskers on kittens.
That's another reason I'm not going to watch it anymore. Too fruitcakes.
He's too fruity. He sounds like a fruit.
Aaron loved that one. I like that one, Aaron. Come on.
Sound like the blues. You know, the Trump administration has brought a lot of positive changes when it comes to fixing our broken healthcare system. The reality is, however, that there's only so much the government can do, and that if we really want to make America healthy again, it starts at home with each and every one of us. And that's, of course, where the wellness company comes in. You see and hear from the wellness company doctors all the time, and you know their products are the gold standard for keeping you and your family safe and healthy. Wellness Company gives you the opportunity to make sure you are prepared for whatever happens with their prescription medical kits. Kits that contain an assortment of life-saving medications and guidebooks to assist in the proper use of these medications. Additionally, the Wellness Company offers a variety of products from parasite cleanses to methylene blue to weight loss, so much more, that can help you stay healthy and live a longer and more satisfying life. Make America healthy again starts at home. Do your part. Protect the health of you and your family. Go to twc.health/voice. twc.health/voice today and order. That's twc.health/voice. Use promo code VOICE to save an additional 10%. Again, that's twc.health/voice. Order today. Use promo code VOICE at checkout to save an additional 10%. Well, America's entering its 250th year, and the direction of the country is being decided right now in our culture and our economy, and who we choose to support matters now more than ever. Most wireless companies don't care who you are or what you believe. They just want your money. Patriot Mobile, well, they're different. For more than 12 years, they've stood with Americans who believe freedom is worth defending, funding the Christian conservative movement while others have stayed silent. And here's the deal. You don't have to give up quality or service when you switch to Patriot Mobile. They deliver premium priority access on all 3 major U.S. networks, so you'll get the same or better coverage than you have today. If you think switching is a hassle, well, it isn't. You can keep your number, keep your phone, or you could upgrade. Their 100% U.S.-based customer support team can activate you in minutes. If you're still paying off a device, well, Patriot Mobile even offers a contract buyout. This is a defining year. We must work together to save the country. Go to patriotmobile.com/RAV, patriotmobile.com/RAV, or call 972-PATRIOT, 972-PATRIOT right now. Use promo code RAV, R-A-V, for a free month of service when you get started with Patriot Mobile. That's patriotmobile.com/RAV, or call 972-PATRIOT and make the switch today. All right, live from Studio 6B, 18:19 past the hour. Let's do some sports. Sports is brought to you by Mike Lindell. Slickster, what's going on?
All right, Big D, update on that World Baseball Championship down in Miami. U.S. is trailing 1-0. Venezuela draws first blood on a sacrifice fly in the top of the third, and right now it is 1-0, top of the fifth. So we got to get those bats moving. Aaron Judge now is struck out twice for Team USA, obviously their best player. And the first in is Howard. Howard in a thriller over UMB. See you next year. 86-83 was the score. And, well, guess what? Venezuela just hit a home run now. So 2-0, nothing like live TV. 2-0. Venezuela leads the WBC championship game here. Top of the fifth inning. Oof, USA in trouble. Get going. And Texas and North Carolina State has been pushed back to a 9:29 start. I guess there was a little bit of a delay there with the game prior. And we got the Islanders 3-1 over the Maple Leafs in the NHL. 11 to go there in the third. Bruins and Canadiens tied at 2 up in Montreal mid-third. Also early third, Blue Jackets 4-1 over the Hurricanes. Wild lead the Blackhawks in Chicago 3-2, end of 2. Mid-second period, Predators over the Predators and Jets actually knotted up at 2. Sharks are blanking the Oilers 1-0, 12 to go there in Edmonton. Panthers, Canucks, Sabres, Golden Knights, Lightning, Kraken coming up 9 and 10 p.m. respectively. Speaking of hockey, we got Jack Hughes. Jack Hughes wants his Olympic gold medal winning puck from the Hockey Hall of Fame. Why would they have that puck? This is Sean Leahy of Yahoo Sports. Nearly a month after his goal secured the first Olympic gold medal in men's hockey for the U.S. since the first Reagan administration, Jack Hughes would like to have the puck. The Team USA forward with the New Jersey Devils star did not know where the puck went from his gold medal winning overtime goal against Canada. Caught up in all the commotion of the post-game celebrations as the Americans won for the first time since the 1980 Lake Placid Games, Hughes forgot to grab the valuable piece of hockey memorabilia. Since the gold medal game, the puck has been on display at the Hall of Fame. They grabbed the puck and other notable items for the Milan Cortina Olympics, including the puck from Megan Keller's also overtime goal, which helped the U.S. capture gold over Canada. Jim Hughes is the father of Jack, Minnesota Wild, and Team USA defenseman Quinn, and Luke of the New Jersey Devils collects memorabilia related to his son's careers. And Jack admitted he doesn't keep much of his own stuff. He leaves that to his dad. So he wants it for his dad. It's his puck. He scored. NHL, I guess there were NHL players, obviously, that played for USA, but there's no reason why they should hold that. So hopefully they'll get that piece back because Jack Hughes is calling BS on that, Big D. So we'll see how that plays out. And, well, just one more story. Just the News ran this one. This is Natalia Middlestat of Just the News. Iran says it's negotiating with FIFA to move World Cup matches from U.S. to Mexico. Hey, like this one. Iran says it's negotiating with FIFA to move. Yeah, they want to move the games. I mean, this is unbelievable. Iranian Football Federation President Mehdi Ataj posted on the Iranian embassy in Mexico's X account on Monday when Trump has explicitly stated that he cannot ensure the security of the Iranian national team. We will certainly not travel to America. We are currently negotiating with FIFA to hold Iran's matches in the World Cup in Mexico. Like, that's a safer place, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Taj's statement comes after President Trump said this week Iran was welcome to participate in the World Cup, but suggested it might not participate, be appropriate for them to play in the U.S. for their own life and safety. FIFA and the organizing committees for the matches in Los Angeles and Seattle didn't immediately respond to Reuters' request for comments. So how do you like that one? Trying to pull a fast one. They shouldn't allow that. Absolutely not. If they're slated to play in America, so be it. If they can't make it, see you later.
They think they're in more danger here than they are at home?
I mean, exactly. And you think Mexico's all that much better? They're going to have a more neutral site there? All right, Big D, that's a wrap in sports. Let's hope the U.S. can get going here.
Sports is brought to you by Mike Lindell. Vinnie Mac, what else is in the news?
Well, before I get to the story, I want to talk a bit about this SAVAC stuff that Delgado was showing before, because to me, this is all about a marketing campaign, and I think the Republicans are doing a great job. We know that somewhere between 80 and 90% of the population in this country, left and right, are in favor of voter ID for elections. It's not a secret. It's not like the Democrats, don't want it. They do. Their constituents want it. So what they've essentially done is they're forcing the Democrats in particular to get up there and say what they have to say about it in defiance of the legislation. And really what this is all sorts of content being consumed by our marketing teams on the right for the midterms that are going to have each and every Democrat who votes against this, which is going to be all of them, right? I think every one of them stating why they're voting against it, but still voting against the most common sense legislation we've seen in decades. I mean, this is the simplest legislation that's out there. So I just wanted to point that out, that as much as people are wondering, these stooges are up there talking, they're doing this. Well, no. They're forcing them to say why they oppose this, and this is all on the Senate floor, recorded for our advertising geniuses to edit into great ads to take these clowns down. So for me, it's great. We need that type of content because it seems they always have something on the Republicans in that way.
Did you say the
I'm happy to see what they're
doing a good job with this? Is that what you just said?
That's what I heard.
I am saying that the Republicans have a good strategy here because they're forcing them to talk about their reluctance to support this legislation. They're going to get it all captured content-wise and then re-edit it and put it out during the midterms to take the Democrats down. So I think it's a good idea to have them up there talking about it.
Turn the camera off in West Palm Beach. Is that possible? We could just kill the feed?
You don't think this is a good idea to make them say why they don't support this thing?
Haven't you been paying attention?
Lights out.
26 past the hour.
Lights out.
Oh, my God. What is he talking about?
Wow.
They're doing a great job.
Got blacklisted.
Horrible.
26 past the hour. Oh, he's back. Live from Studio 6B.
Hey.
We'll let Vin explain himself when we get back.
By the way, he never looked better.
What?
That's a beauty. He saved that one. That was fantastic.
Nice job, Aaron. Who killed the camera? You or someone in West Palm? Nice job.
Hop is back.
There's no one here.
Look at this. They got one hit. They got one hit in 4 innings. One hit.
Judges struck out twice.
Yeah.
You guys are such doom and gloomers.
No,
oh my goodness.
All right, Rick has faith. He thinks
it's only 2-0. It's not like it's 10-0.
There's 5 innings to go. You know what could happen in 5 innings?
Of course.
My goodness.
Sure. No question. And now you're going to start going to the bullpen. The kid who's pitching that, he's pitching a good game. Rodriguez, Eduardo Rodriguez, got out.
Well, here you go again.
How about the Islanders, Vin? Let's go, baby. Another win. Come on, rack them up. I need the 2 points.
Yeah, is it almost over there? 3-1.
Yeah, 3-1 is probably
nice.
about 5 minutes to go, 7 minutes to go. Should hopefully ice that game.
Oh, I hope so. It's so tight. I mean,
it is.
They lose 2 games and you're out of a playoff spot.
It's amazing.
It's crazy.
Good as they're playing. 7:30 to go, 3-1, Vin. 7:30 to go. Let's get out of Dodge there. They're on the road. Maple Leaf Gardens, baby. Talk about a liberal place, huh? Toronto. Whee.
Hello. That's where they're playing in Toronto? Well, they're not home? Oh,
yeah, they're on the road.
All right. How you doing? How you doing?
Hurricanes are losing. That's good. Howard.
What am I munching on? I'm munching on a wheat thin.
What happened to the pastrami and corned beef we were getting today?
Yeah, I don't think it's working.
Oh no, that's Delgado.
Let's go.
I'm getting a lot of positive feedback, by the way. I think I'm going to need to explain myself when we come back.
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, your wife
the
and
hearing
daughter?
Impaired out there.
Your wife and daughter chimed into the chat.
Doug probably agreed with you.
Yeah, exactly.
Doug's agreeing with this now.
When Doug agrees with you, you got problems.
You know you're off the
Doug and Charlie are like, right on, guys. Yeah.
All right, 30 minutes past the hour, live from Studio 6B. We just had a shocking moment here on the show before we went to break. And that was Vincent C. Buta, who I've been doing this show with in 2015, just said on when it comes to the Save America Act,
yes,
which the Republicans are doing a horrendous job with, and John Thune is a backstabbing worm, empty suit phony, gold-plated phony, who is purposely giving people like Lisa Murkowski, John Cornyn, and others to run cover by not making and not bringing this to the floor for a talking filibuster, which would give them the ability for 51, is leaving it at 60, which he knows will fail. So it's all theater at this point. And he's delayed the vote till tomorrow, so John Cornyn doesn't have to drop out of the Texas race, because if they have the vote today and Cornyn voted against it, the president wouldn't support him, and this thing it's probably over for him anyways, but it should be officially over. So Thune's running cover for the weakest of the weak of the Republican Party. The legislation is not going to pass, but Vince's position is, don't worry, we're great because we're going to make great commercials out of it for people who are not going to care. They're the people who vote for these lunatics. They believe when Adam Schiff says, well, they're coming after your 401ks, and ICE is going to remove 9 billion people. Meanwhile, there's 8 billion in the world. But no, it's great, Vince. So please explain yourself.
Yeah.
Let me start splaining, okay? Let me explain myself. First off, we're not talking about the left-wingers. They're going to vote for the left no matter what. Doesn't matter what anybody says or does. We're talking about independents, folks that hopefully have a little bit of common sense that make the difference in most of the elections. My only point is what the Democrats have done to us for years is when they have legislation and they put it on the floor for votes like this, which this is sort of unprecedented, they capture that content, they cut them into commercials, and they say, see, these guys have no clue. Look what they said about this very clear piece of legislation as common sense. So in this particular instance, I'm not saying the Republicans have done a great job on the SAVE Act. I'd want to see the talking filibuster, all of those things. In this particular moment where they're having to stand up and tell us why they're voting against the SAVE Act, the Democrats, they're giving us lots of content to market against them for the midterms. And I'm saying, touche. This is what they do to us all the time. So let's get as much content as we can. Explain yourself.
But they're
Tell me why you're voting
about
against
the reasons that they're voting against it. Do you understand that they're just making up things that aren't true?
Yeah, they might be lying. In some cases, they might say something stupid. That's what I'm hoping for. Someone's going to say something where we're going to be able to have some really good content to advertise against them. That's the only positive that's coming out of this. But I'm not saying the Republicans are doing a great job, because they haven't done a good job here. I'm agreeing with just about everything you laid out.
Except was your exact words. We can roll the tape back and play it back to you.
Hang on a second there, Betty. I'm saying that in this particular instance, where they're making them speak and defend their stance on the SAVE Act, we're doing a good job because we're getting them to say it on the floor. That's what I'm saying.
Would you trade passage of the actual bill for great content, or you're more concerned with the content?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Ben.
No, 100%. I know it's not going to pass in the traditional way. So they're forcing them to say what they think about it. I'd want them to do the talking filibuster and win it.
But Vin, we control the ability to make it pass in the traditional way if we had the guts to do it, and a leader that had any you-know-whats.
I agree. Right now, that's not happening. So I'm trying to take a positive out of forcing these people to speak about why they think they support the SAVE Act or don't support the SAVE Act.
So college grad failure on the app thinks either Vin is high on his own supply or needs Damon to call HR to have a drug test done because he thinks Vin is out of his mind. The problem is you're presenting it as oh my goodness, the Republicans have really lulled them in here. No, this if they come up with anything from this, it's not going to be because it was pre-planned and they were thinking, hey, how do we rope-a-dope them into this? It's just because it happened. There was no planning. There was no forethought from the rhinos that said, you know what we need is some great content for the midterm elections. No, that's not what they were thinking. They were thinking, how do we kill this bill so we can keep our friends on the Democrat side inviting us to their parties and having Farquhar for dinner. That's all they care about. They don't care about this act. That's why Thune is trying to kill it in his own special way, which is what we've been so twisted about for the last couple of weeks because he's so adamant about, well, we don't have a votes and we shouldn't do a filibuster and we shouldn't do this and we shouldn't do that. He was looking for every way he could to kill it. And now at least the Republicans are seizing the floor. And you know, if anything comes out of this, hopefully it'll be because those guys with the actual kuyans did something about it. And anything that comes after it, Vin, this marketing push that you were talking about, that's just a byproduct. Nobody was planning on that. The Republicans weren't planning on that because they were hoping that this thing was going to die.
Well, I don't agree with that. I'll tell you why. I agree with everything else you said. Thune, all of the garbage about his not handling this well and all that, 100% with you. I have heard many Republicans talk about the fact that we're going to put this to the floor and have them tell us why they're not supporting this. We want to get them to say why they don't support the most common sense legislation that's set at 80 to 90% of the country support. That's my point. At most Americans support this, and they're forcing them to say why they don't, even though they might lie and all that, but in a formal basis. Because they're not all out talking against it. It's just the leaders. Schumer and a few other clowns are talking about it. Some of these obscure senators that you don't hear about, they have to get up and talk about this now. And they have to say why they're not voting for it. And
Aaron,
something good may come out of that.
Aaron, the next Democrat that comes to the mic, let me know. Who's up there now? Bernie Moreno? Let's hear a little bit of Bernie Moreno. He's
pretty solid.
Do you have to prove you're a citizen when you register to vote? And should you have to prove that you are who you are when you actually cast a ballot? And with that, I'll yield the floor to my colleague from Utah, who will go into the 28 pages of common sense that's in a very well-written bill. Madam President, I yield.
Let's see who's next. I'm assuming it's a Republican by that introduction.
Right. He had a couple of martinis at lunch, that guy.
I think I might have too.
All right. Well, I mean, we can't sit here in silence while they figure out who's coming to the mic. But if we get a Democrat to the mic before the end of the show, let's listen to a little bit of what their reasoning is, and we'll prove
that's
Vin
what I'm saying.
And Vin will be proven right or delusional. So let's see when the next Democrat who comes to the floor, let's see what they say for their reasoning behind not voting for this. And I'm sure it will have nothing to do with not supporting voter ID. It'll be all of these random things that are just not true. It'll have nothing to do with what the bill is about. It's going to be about ICE going after your grandmother and who knows, stuff that has nothing to do with the actual bill.
Right.
All right, 38 past the hour, live from Studio 6B. What other headlines, Delgado, do you want to hit?
Right. Well, believe it or not, Jazzy Crockett is back in the news, Damon.
Of course.
Yeah, believe it or not.
I love her. Oh, my God. I can't believe she's back.
Yeah, Representative Jasmine Crockett says she was unaware of her late bodyguard. Why is he late? We'll tell you. Bodyguard's criminal history, Damon. Representative Crockett broke her silence on her bodyguard who was shot and killed following a standoff with Dallas police, saying there was never any reason to suspect he wasn't who he held himself out to be. You don't think? His name is, believe it or not, Diamond. Very close to Damon. There's just an extra I in there. Damon Robinson died Wednesday night after he led law enforcement on a car chase.
Why did you say that? Are you wishing that I was dead
No,
too?
I'm just saying it caught me off guard how close his name is to yours. I almost pronounced it as Damon.
Diamond?
Damon.
Oh, check, please.
Damon Robinson.
That could be a good stage for you, Damon Diamond.
Yeah.
I like that.
Damon Diamond, now on stage 9.
That would be your wrestling name.
That would be beautiful.
Oh, it could be my WWE.
It's good. He died Wednesday night after he led law enforcement on a car chase, refused orders to leave his vehicle, and finally emerged brandishing a gun. He was then shot multiple times by officers.
Yeah, well, that's
not a good look.
after telling him to drop the gun. Here is cut number 6. Here's the police body cam footage that we do not show. Don't worry, Aaron. There is
he's a diamond in the snuff.
All right, good.
Another one of she made it.
Nobody's. Yeah, exactly. He didn't make it.
Yeah.
He didn't live.
Oh, yeah,
cut number 6. Check this out.
Come on, get out.
He's in the car closest to you on the left side of your screen.
Stand up. Stand up. Stand up. Put your hands up.
Now he reaches for a gun.
Don't reach. Don't do it. Don't do it.
And then he pulls it.
Oh.
And right there is when a hail of bullets decided to take him out and end the threat. Mr. Robertson's criminal record included several felony warrants, a parole violation warrant, multiple arrests for theft. He was a subject of a federal investigation in which he was wanted for impersonating a law enforcement officer, according to CBS in Texas. Ms. Crockett, the Democrat who represents portions of Dallas County, said Monday in the initial review by her team had shown a limited criminal history.
What? Who does a background check? Stevie Wonder? I mean, that's
for
ridiculous.
Mr. Robinson, but they were unable to find any violent offenses. Wow. And then, of course, she and her staff knew Mr. Robinson by a fake name. He went by Mike King, and they didn't think that was suspicious at all. So despite his background, Mr. Robinson was using an alias Mike King along with several other names while running off-duty police services, a business that placed North Texas officers in off-duty jobs. So there you have it. The security expert, formerly known as Mr. Robinson, and Mike King is no longer with us.
Wow. The only more surprising news than Jasmine Crockett having no clue what she's doing is the election tonight of Kim Jong-un, Harry's favorite leader, was reelected to his position by, shocker, nail-biter, 99.03% of the vote.
Wow, those are Putin-like numbers.
Oh, 3%.
99.93%
mail-in ballots.
percentage of the vote.
0.07 of the people were killed. Thank you.
I saw somebody say, and 0.07 of the population is deceased in the last 12 hours.
Oh, my gosh. That's hysterical.
Anything else, Delgado?
Oh, there's plenty. I don't know if I have enough time for it, but let's go with John Solomon on his reporting of Ukrainian officials tried to help Joe Biden win the 2024 election, believe it or not. John is doing more and more of this stuff, getting it out there. Check this out. This is cut number 7, where he explains what was going on. Cut number 7. Check this out, John Solomon.
There are scores of raw intelligence reports that show Chinese meddling in the American election, and there's one report raising concern that Ukraine was engaged in a plot to do something bad in the 2024 election to help Joe Biden. I want to repeat that. There is intercepted intelligence that the Trump administration has had for many, many months, in which it is suggested by Ukrainian officials that they're going to try to help Joe Biden win the election using American taxpayer money.
Yeah, so if there's another reason for the Save America Act, that could be it, with some of the reporting coming out of Just the News from John Solomon on that story.
All right, 43 past the hour, live from Studio 6B. We'll wrap it up when we get back for a Tuesday night. We'll get to everybody one more time.
So, guys, Greta Garbo said, please remind Damon and the boys, last year I whooped their butts in the brackets. I came in 39th overall, and I blindly picked my teams and beat them, and I'll beat them this year as well. I can't believe they forgot. I rubbed it in for weeks. You guys remember this?
We got to correct that, though. I finished 11th last year, so if she finished 39th, that was damn good, but she didn't whip my butt.
Blindly picked them.
Yeah.
There you go, Greta.
Ben?
Have I done it yet?
Yeah.
Not until we get all this content out of the Democrats regarding this whole thing. I'm not going to even touch the sports yet. I'm waiting for that.
I guess we're going to be
some
lucky
incentive.
Trump just posted on Truth, Aaron. Put this up. We'll do it now in the break instead of those. Oh, maybe we could do it when we get back to. Trump put this up. Joe Kent from January 8th of 2020. Real Donald Trump, we should not sit and wait for the next attack. Wipe Iran's ballistic capability out and get our troops out of Iraq. They are only targets now. No U.S. WIA KIA is a tribute to the professionalism of our military and intel professionals, not Iranian restraint.
Go U.S. Get the bats waking up here.
Where are we?
Yeah, last two games they won with pitching. Definitely not with the hitting. They were only 8 for 49 the last two games.
I mean,
with 20 strikeouts.
Is this still a one-hitter here? This is a one-hitter.
Yeah.
A one-hit game.
Yeah, it's a one-hitter.
U.S. has mustered one hit in 6 1/3 of innings here.
Need to wake it up.
Yeah, let's go.
Wake it up.
Come on now.
Wake it up.
There'll be a pitching change. I mean, it's too early for the guy to go the length, whoever's pitching.
Oh, he's already been changed out.
Popped out.
He's already been chased out?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Rodriguez is out.
So is the Mets.
Oh, McLean. Don McLean. A long, long time ago. Ron McLean. I just got tickets to see him. I'm going to see him in May.
What?
Don McLean. Starry, starry night.
Are we going to OT? On the app? Yeah, we can.
We haven't really dipped into the chat too much. Kind of a busy night.
Patty's Day. 13 to the hour live from Studio 6.
That was awesome.
You know,
Wow.
it's funny you play that because I just happened to see this on my, put this up, Aaron, on my dashboard here.
Hello, laddies. This is your favorite president, and I just wanted to wish everybody a very happy, very tremendous St. Patrick's Day, the best one yet. And I'm very proud to say that no president in history has been more Irish than me. People don't know this, but I'm actually part Irish. Very big part, the biggest part. My people looked into it and they said, sir, you're basically a leprechaun. I said, that tracks. I'm short-tempered, I hoard gold, and nobody can catch me. I get along very well with St. Patrick. Great guy, tremendous saint. I call him Patty. He doesn't love that, but he allows it because I'm me. I said, Patty, the snake thing, genius. You drove all the snakes out of Ireland. Beautiful move, very strong. I actually called him for advice because we have snakes in Washington, many snakes. And he said, sir, I can't help you. Your snakes wear suits and they have lawyers. Very smart observation from Patty. He gets it. I also spoke with Lucky, the leprechaun, very short guy, great energy though. He called me and he said, sir, they're after me Lucky Charms again. The whole situation's a disaster. I can't keep running. Me legs are very small, sir. I said, Lucky, don't worry about it. I'm putting a tariff on anyone who touches those Lucky Charms. 200% minimum. He started crying, tiny little tears, very emotional. Beautiful moment, actually. But here's the problem, and this is a big problem. Rosie O'Donnell and I hate to bring her up on a holiday. I really do. It's very unpleasant, but Rosie O'Donnell has eaten all the Lucky Charms, all of them, not just the marshmallows, the whole box, multiple boxes. We're talking industrial volume. Lucky called me. He was frantic. He said, sir, she found me pot of gold and she traded it for more Lucky Charms. I said, that doesn't even make financial sense. He said, she doesn't care, sir. She's out of control. So I called Ireland. Beautiful country. Love the people. Love the accents. I called the Taoiseach, and I pronounced that perfectly, by the way. First try. Nobody's ever done that. And he said, sir, please, you have to take Rosie back. She's causing another famine. She ate everything in Cork. She's moving toward Dublin. We're running out of food, sir. We're running out of Guinness. She's drinking the Guinness now, too. I said, that's your problem. We deported her. She's yours. No refunds. This isn't Costco. He said, sir, please. I said, if you send her back, I'm tariffing Ireland 5,000% per pound. And I mean per pound of Rosie. You do the math. You don't want that bill. So they're keeping her. Very smart decision on their part. The good news is, besides Rosie, everything's going great. Ireland loves us. The Irish people love me. I went to a St. Patrick's Day parade once. Beautiful parade. Everybody was green. I was the only one in a suit. They gave me a standing ovation. A guy handed me a Guinness. I didn't drink it because I don't drink, but I held it. Very presidential, very strong grip. Nobody held a Guinness like that before. They were taking pictures. It was a whole thing. So happy St. Patrick's Day, everybody. May your pot of gold be big. May your leprechauns be safe. And may Rosie O'Donnell stay very far away from your kitchen. God bless Ireland. God bless America. And somebody please check on Lucky. I'm worried about him.
Oh, man, that's great. Classic stuff.
That was awesome. All right, Vin, what else is on your news radar?
Oh, boy. I don't know. That's a tough one to follow. That was good. One. We've been a subject I've been harping on for months and months and months is the amount of danger that these activists on the left are putting all of us in and interrupting ICE's job in arresting people and arresting, criminals and so on and so forth. Well, it's gotten to a point where a couple of incidents have happened that are really worth noting. One in particular out of Boston, where there's a child rapist out there that they're trying to apprehend. And in February, they went after this guy, and these activists in a sanctuary city, which is Boston, got in the middle of it, interrupted ICE's ability to arrest this guy, and he got away. A child rapist. This is who the left has decided that's a good idea, to impede police activity in arresting a child rapist in this country illegally on top of it, so that they can have some political position, wrong position, and a position that lacks common sense and everything else. Anyhow, they impeded the arrest. Period. That was in February. Well, last week they found this guy and they arrested him, and he is now in jail, and they'll get rid of him and he'll serve his time and do all that. But it sort of goes to the point I made when I first came on with my rant about all these things that the left just doesn't care about you. Here's what they have done. They have brainwashed, so many people in this country to think that by defying ICE, they're defying Trump and they're doing something good for their community. No. All they're doing is impeding the ability to arrest bad people that do really bad stuff, rape, murder, and so on. So I thought it was worth noting, and that's my story.
All right, very good. 8 minutes to the hour, live from Studio 6B. Slick, give us one more sports here. What's going on?
Well, World Baseball Championship through 6, Big D. Venezuela continues to lead 2-0. Aaron Judge just grounded out with a man on first to end the inning. Boy, 3 times in the big spot there. 2 strikeouts and a ground out to third. Tough for them. But they got 3 innings to go, so we shall see what happens. And Texas right now leads NC State 16-12. 10.5 to go there in the first half. A lot of time there, but we'll keep an eye on that. That would be the first 4 in, and the first one in was Howard, who's moving on now to the March Madness. Broncos get star wide receiver Jalen Waddle from Dolphins in blockbuster trade earlier today. AP report the Denver Broncos have acquired standout wide receiver Jalen Waddle in a blockbuster deal that sends 3 draft picks to the Miami Dolphins, including a first-rounder, according to a person with knowledge of the trade. The person spoke with the AP on a condition of anonymity because the deal hasn't been announced. The Dolphins will receive the 30th overall pick. Why do we even have press conferences anymore announce anything? It's already leaked between Schefter and the other guy. It just never ends. So crazy stuff there. And judge throws out Jets legends lawsuit against ESPN NFL Films over viral spat with Brett Favre. This is Ryan Morick of Fox News. Well, once again, the Jets are losers. A judge tossed a lawsuit filed by former New York Jets star Mark Gastineau against ESPN, in which he sought $25 million in damages stemming from a viral confrontation he had with Brett Favre. The confrontation went viral in December of 2024 as cameras captured Gastineau confronting Favre in 2023 over Michael Strahan sacking the Green Bay Packers legend to break Gastineau's single-season sack record. The video was a clip from ESPN's 30 for 30, the New York Sack Exchange. And we remember that, of course, that's the classic story in that 2001 game where everybody felt Brett Favre took a dive. I think he might have, but Strahan got the record. Doesn't matter. The record's already broke. Miles Garrett broke it anyway, so that's water under the bridge. Judge must have felt the same way. Case got thrown out. Jets lose again. That's a wrap in sports, Big D. Back to you.
All right, Slick. Any other stories, Doug, do you want to quickly hit?
Yeah, real quick, as a search for the missing retired Air Force general with ties to the UFO community continues as the investigators probe new clues. Investigators said they're still working to determine whether the boots are connected. They found a set of boots, they believe hiking boots belonging to the missing general, and they're trying to determine if they are connected to his disappearance. I'm talking about retired Air Force Major General William Neal McCaslin. Here is, believe it or not, here's Professor Avi Loeb from Harvard talking about his thoughts on the missing general and UFOs as well. Check this out. Cut number 8.
In the worst case scenario, I can imagine someone threatening him, but not really doing much about it. And also, any technology used for decades ago is not relevant right now. So I would actually dismiss. I completely agree with his wife. I don't think it has anything to do with UFOs. The only thing I can imagine is, that for some other reason, that may be completely mundane. Someone did something to him, which unfortunately led to these consequences, but had nothing to do with UFOs as far as I can imagine.
Yeah, so there you have it. The professor trying to throw us all off the trail that it actually has something to do with UFOs. We'll see what happens. Hopefully, the retired general will be found.
Might be onto something.
As always, we salute our military, active and active, police, firefighters, first responders, all emergency personnel. Thanks, guys, on the show. Aaron Friend, great job as always. You're on the live from Studio 6B app. We'll see you in OT here in about 30 seconds. Enjoy the rest of your night, everybody. We'll be back tomorrow night live from Studio 6B.
OT.
OT.
OT. Good show, boys. Funny stuff.
That Trump hysterical.
Harry Knuckles says 6B is the place to be for OT.
Yeah.
What if that lady's going to be watching? We mispronounce stuff.
You think we should market this, Damon?
Should we go through all the crazy stuff I get during the show?
Yes.
Oh, God.
At least a little bit of it.
That's the best juice.
I mean, some of it.
Notice. Click below for your free info kit on gold IRAs.
What do you do when your tire goes flat and there's no air anywhere to fix that? You reach for Bullseye Pro, the smarter, faster, hands-free way to fill it up with air. Bullseye Pro is equipped with a rechargeable lithium-ion power plant. So fast, so strong, and so convenient. It's like putting the power of an air compressor in the palm of your hand. Look, you can inflate all 4 tires of your car on a single charge, or inflate a bag full of soccer balls at practice. Bullseye Pro is so advanced, it has a built-in smart pressure digital sensor that gauges and automatically stops when the set tire pressure is reached. Plus, it can be 100% hands-free. You simply set the target pressure and walk away, keeping you